That artistic art style. Let's talk about that for a few moments. So, I don't know how many probably really like that type of art style, because usually some might look at it and think it's kind of bad artwork, but the mangaka purposely drew like that to add a different type of atmosphere to the panel work. And I like the way the art was done. Like, the art direction of the chapter was very nice, and it reminded me, once again, of the Flowers of Evil. But it wasn't that. The way the artwork was presented in this chapter definitely gave this chapter an entirely different life. Like, the chapter didn't have, so to say, much progression, but it had a really good presentation because of the artwork. Now, usually if you read this mangaka's work, you know that the artwork is where this series really shines, like the Happiness or the Flowers of Evil. It shines in the characters along with the artwork, and to see the way the artwork was done, I'm liking that. I'm really liking the choice of design, especially for the scene to where our main male character, Okazaki, was just thirsting for blood, and he couldn't really see straight, and he saw these distorted forms going back and forth. It was such a good way to showcase, like, what he is feeling, like the atmosphere or the emotions, the raw emotions his character is going through while he's being beat up and wanting blood. And that was one of the best ways I think that the mangaka could have presented this, like, trait of the character. But back onto, like, the story and pacing. The pacing of the chapter is very straight to the point. As we know, last month's chapter, it left us on a cliffhanger to where our main male character, Okazaki, was about to awaken, turn into a vampire, and that was kind of going to lead into some form of crazy shit with this chapter. And he does, in a sense, awaken. Like, you see to where his vision starts going hazy, like, you know, reference to the art style, along with, you know, how his teeth kind of opens up, like you see his teeth, vampire teeth come out, and he bites the dude's shoe, and he rips off the fucking front end of his shoe. Damn, you do not want that dude biting down on anything of yours. Like, I'm just saying. Like, it's just like, that would hurt. That would hurt. So, right now, I'll tell you, the way he awakened, I was kind of happy to see that. But, in a sense, I know a lot might be kind of disappointed with this chapter. Not because of the art design, but because of the content we got. And I feel like majority don't realize when they're getting into this series, do not realize that this mangaka takes a slow pace. And that's kind of what is really taking place in this series at the moment. And I could see where some would probably complain from this chapter saying like, oh, it's, you know, too slow, or there's not much going on, or he awakened but didn't awaken, and we're kind of left in a similar situation as the last chapter. I could see that, and I can't really deny some of those things. I really can't. But the direction of the series is going in a great path, and it continues to kind of ramp up the emotions and vibes from the series by each passing chapter, and it is definitely getting into something very good, because with this chapter, the friend that Okazaki recently made died. Like, we don't really know if he's dead, like, it's not confirmed, but his neck got fucking bit open. And I mean, if your neck was to get bit like that, and if it's deep, and judging by the way Okazaki, he ripped a fucking shoe off by biting into it. If someone like that was to bite into your neck and probably just jank, most likely you're dead. And so, seeing it like that, you can assume that Okazaki's friend is dead, and he's not getting back up. So the character is gone, and I personally don't know how to feel about that. When it comes to this chapter, that's one of the only things I'm kind of disappointed with, because Okazaki's friend that he's recently made in these past couple chapters, going through the hardships of saving this person, and then also stepping up to this person, I mean, I thought this character would have a lot more role to play in the story, but if he is, in fact, dead, I don't know how to feel about that, because the only way I could see this going with the development of this character, if, you know, the character is dead, most likely his death will be used for his girlfriend. You know, the girl that was with him in the last chapter, and what we got to see and witness with I guess, the evil of mankind, drinking and, you know, partying lust and stuff like that. I'm willing to bet that that might serve to develop her as a character if he is, in fact, dead, which might make that girl fall in love with our main male character, or have some form of crush to where she wants to come after him, and that's where I think that direction is going. But for now, the chapter, straightforward, and yeah, it is getting into something very good, and that is why I continuously read the series, and I'm sticking with it, because it is done by one of my favorite mangaka, along with the mangaka being very well known for doing some controversial things, with some really great storytelling elements in the series. And so yeah, I cannot wait to see how next month's chapter is and what will happen, since we're getting introduced to vampires. Now we're getting to see other vampires that are, you know, feasting and eating on people. And apparently other vampires can call out to each other, like they can make some form of echolocation noise or something. And, you know, other vampires can find them to kind of find out where they're at. So tell me your thoughts and comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.